Assalamu alaikum. This is episode 2 of the Muslim Seer. This episode is on empaths, narcissists, and codependents. In my experience with life so far, there are only three types of people: empaths, narcissists, and codependents. Who are they? According to Merriam Webster, empaths are people who experience the emotions of others. According to Merriam Webster, codependents are people who have low self esteem and a strong desire for approval, and they have an unhealthy attachment to others, especially to controlling or manipulative people. According to Merriam Webster, narcissists are extremely self centered people who have an exaggerated sense of self importance. According to the Quran, chapter 2, verse 17, Surah Al Baqarah says, Allah tells us, they are like people who kindle a fire. When it lights up everything around them, God takes away all their light, leaving them in utter darkness, unable to see. Deaf, dumb, and blind, they will never return. Allah warns us about narcissists in this part of the Quran. Narcissistic people want one thing and one thing only, and that is control. And they strive for / obtain control through manipulation and intimidation. If their victim is strong, they will manipulate because they know they can't intimidate a strong person. They make up lies, they get codependents to co sign their lies, and that is how they trap their strong victims. When the victim is weak, they intimidate them. So when a victim exhibits traits like low self esteem, they see that as weak. That is why they are able to trap codependents much more easier than empaths who are strong. Empaths have empathy for everyone. They are loyal to God. They make mistakes because nobody is perfect, but they repent, they take accountability, and in their actions, they actively avoid repeating mistakes. Codependents also have empathy, but their downfall is their low self esteem. Therefore, they are loyal to narcissists. There are two types of narcissists: covert and overt. Covert narcissists also want control, but they are a little bit more tricky to pinpoint because on the surface, they come off as religious, leaders, they come off as nice, kind, but they are highly manipulative and their words never match their actions because their words seem empathetic to others, but their actions are actually very controlling. And their actions are very manipulative because they want control. They wear a mask. Overt narcissists, on the other hand, do not wear a mask. They are unapologetically controlling, demonic, unapologetically manipulative, intimidating. And as an empath, I actually respect overt narcissists. I don't like them. I don't have overt narcissists in my life. I don't go out seeking relationships with them, but I respect the fact that they are who they are. They don't hide who they are. They don't trick you into a relationship with them. Trump is an overt narcissist. Everyone knows that Trump is demonic. So the people who voted for him and the people who follow him, there is no way that they just didn't see who he was and what he was about. He doesn't hide it. He doesn't wear a mask. That's who overt narcissists are. All narcissists, regardless of if they are overt or covert, have a system that they put their victims through. First, they love bomb their victims. Then they devalue their victims. Then they discard their victims. Then they smear their victims' names and reputations. And then they move on to the next victim. These people are parasites, and it's very important, Muslim seer, to beware these three types of people that walk amongst us. I always say this, and I live by this motto: people will forget how you look, what you were wearing, but they will never ever forget how you made them feel. And so I'm going to give you some signs of feelings that you will experience when you meet an empath, when you meet a codependent, and when you meet a covert and overt narcissist. When you meet an empath and you have a conversation with an empath, you feel light, you feel relieved, you feel confident, you feel empowered, you feel like you want to have another conversation with this person. You feel comfortable, you feel heard, you feel seen, you feel loved. When you meet a codependent, you feel loved, you feel seen, you feel heard, but you also feel sorry for this individual because they will say things and exhibit actions that will show you that they do not value themselves and they value the quote unquote love, attention, and affection of people who are evil, demonic, unkind, unhonest human beings. When you meet a covert narcissist at first, you will feel heard, loved, seen. You will feel loved. Let me tell you, covert narcissists know how to love bomb. They know how to get you where you need it. In other words, they know how to love you where you need loving the most. But after some time, what will happen is that their mask will begin to slip away slowly. During the devalue step of the narc system, they will begin to hit you where it hurts. Remember, they loved you where it mattered most. Now they're hitting you where it hurts, right? They begin to show you that they are very egotistical by saying very inflated things about themselves. It's like you begin to meet another person within them that you didn't know existed. And so, with a covert narcissist, you'll begin to feel confused because at first you felt love and heard, remember? But then you begin to feel confused. That confusion usually becomes that third feeling of, oh, you're actually a demonic person. Awareness. Because they showed you one person and then showed you a completely different face. That completely different face is really who they are. The first the first face they showed you, that was just their mask. So please don't feel confused and believe people the first time they show you who they are. The overt narcissist, after having a single conversation with them, you'll feel drained, you'll feel annoyed, you'll feel irritated. You might even feel angry because they love to insult people in order to feel better about themselves. You'll feel depleted being around them for more than a few seconds because they are just draining. They are the low of the low of human beings. Even though most over narcissists are successful materialistically. That's a conversation for another episode. Please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Please make sure you like this video and you leave a comment on your experiences meeting an empath, codependent, or narcissist. Please do turn on your post notifications so you are notified when I post episode 3. Assalamu alaikum.